February 14th is right around the corner and LMU students are looking for love. Politics have become a notorious dating deal breaker. Voting red, voting blue, or not voting at all could very well stop you from finding your next relationship. Today, we're here on Palm Walk to talk to LMU students about their dating deal breakers. So would you date someone that you politically disagree with?
I am related to people who don't politically agree with me. If it was like a big, like human rights thing, I probably wouldn't.
I think I would if we agree that like everyone should be equal and like women's rights, stuff like that, then yes.
No.
Yes. I'm not like really strict on that type of stuff as long as you're like a nice person.
I have, and I will say that it tends not to work out well. But if people are ready to learn and be educated, then I think it can be productive.
I think when people's lives are controlled by politics, such as me being able to live here, or me being able to come to the school, or me being able to, exist in the same space as other Americans. And I think if somebody was like extremely anti-immigrant, I wouldn't be able to do that, Not just because it affects me, but because I think it's morally wrong.
Probably not.
I mean, it kind of depends to the extent of how much we disagree. Yeah. But I would say I would.
Probably not, no.
Personally, my family's very split on political views, but we all very much so love each other. Even though there's some hot conversations at the dinner table sometimes, I've learned to accept my family and love them a lot.
So what are some of your political dating deal breakers? What are your non-negotiables when it comes to dating?
Abortion rights.
Abortion rights.
And immigration.
Definitely, they gotta be pro-choice. That's a big one. Caring about like the environment and climate change.
Immigration, human rights, abortion, healthcare, universal healthcare.
Abortion. Pro-choice.
Queerphobia, racism, and sexism.
Abortion, guns, and anything else that I could decide later.
So we're leaving it open-ended?
Yes.
Gorgeous.
I think anything that centers around respect for other people, human rights. I would say economically, I am not as educated on that, so I'm more willing to be open to other perspectives.
Any like feminine rights that they disagree with, I would struggle very hard with.
If you support Trump, sorry.
I was about to say that, to be honest. I guess if you support Trump, I don't know if this is more like politics, but like if you support Blue Lives Matter, then like nah.
Transphobia, I guess, and also not supporting abortions.
I mean, you can't be like discriminatory based on like literally anything like race, gender, sexuality.
I agree with her. Plus, if he doesn't respect women in general, I think that's like a big thing.
If you think that women shouldn't be able to choose if they want to have an abortion or not, if you think that immigrants should not be allowed in the country, because that's what this country was founded on, like looking for a better opportunity.
I think you have to care about politics personally. I think it's really important to how we function as a society. I'm also from DC, so it's important to me. I'm not going to have to say that you have to have certain beliefs, but you have to be open to learning others.
Your thoughts on like the LGBTQ plus community, race, discrimination with gender. Sure, we can talk about taxes, but it's kind of like those human rights things that like it's non-negotiable.
I'm gonna have to like second what Ben said.
Yeah, definitely a monetary policy. As a finance major, you gotta agree. You gotta agree.
I believe I'm pro-choice. I would probably not date someone who was pro-life.
Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you were interested in someone, you thought you wanted to date them, and then you found out that they supported something you didn't agree with?
I dated a guy and I found out we had different political views, and it was fine up until like we got into like some arguments, some debates about some things, and we just had such a difference in like our opinions that it just became impossible to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't work out in the long run.
This is Amani, our assistant sports editor, and she has some stories that she'd like to share.
So sadly, I have dated somebody who I did not really agree with politically. If I have advice for anybody who's in the position that I was in, it will come up. Eventually, one day, it matters way more than you think it does, and it affects way more than you think it does. Happy Valentine's Day!
Hey, if anybody wants to be my Valentine, hit me up. Thank you.